Hello lads and ladies and welcome to Vlogmas Day 3. I am in a bit of a rush this morning because I did in fact wake up later than I thought I was going to, and I need to work on my essay. But it's okay. I am wearing the same hoodie from yesterday, but I promise that I have got change. We're going to start this morning by looking at my advent calendar. Yay! And then I think I'm going to make some crumpets for breakfast because I bought gluten-free crumpets yesterday. And if you didn't know, I am, technically speaking, gluten and dairy-free. I'm very allergic to nuts. Gluten and dairy are just kind of intolerances, but I choose to actually abide by them so I don't die and so I don't feel like shit. It is day number 3. Today we have a tea that I have not tried. Who's excited? So today's tea is pure chamomile, naturally caffeine free, which is probably not what I need this morning, but that's okay because I think I'm gonna make 2 mugs of tea and some crumpets, and I'll see you guys in a minute because I need to set up my workstation so that I can get ready for this essay. I now have made my 2 cups of tea, which smell really good. I haven't ever had chamomile tea that's like, or chamomile, I don't actually know which one it is, but I haven't ever had it without like something else in it. And I missed crumpets, guys. Like, they don't taste as good as the non-gluten free ones, which is, that's fine. But I feel like crumpets are such like a winter staple. They remind me of like being at primary school and my mum would make them in the mornings. It's like crumpets and then porridge have the same thing. I'm gonna go enjoy those and then I'm gonna work on my essay for hopefully an hour. The lock-in has just become super serious because my phone is gonna go all the way over here so that I cannot touch it until I've finished my essay. Which is fine. And it's not like I get distracted by things on my laptop. Guys, actually pray for me. This essay will be done today though. That is a promise. Hey guys, we've run into an issue I didn't think we were gonna run into. So I've just been planning. I've got 1 sheet of planning and a 2nd sheet, and then I'm gonna type this all up in a second because my thoughts are literally all over everywhere. Which is kind of the issue that we've run into that I really did not expect. I have too much to say and I don't think I have enough words to do it. What they've told me to do for this essay is to look at a literary text or may address more than one text, but where the difference is between A-levels and university essays is that for a university essay it isn't like, how does Shakespeare explore ambition in Macbeth? It's like, a question that I don't know if I can say it, but it's more than that. And the question that I've chosen is even more than that because I think that I'm able to talk about so much wider stuff. Basically, for my essay, the main text that I'm focusing on is Ocean Vuong's On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous, which is a great book, would really recommend if you guys have any chance to read it. There you go, now it's focused. Would really recommend if you guys have any chance to read it, it's so good. But to further my argument, I'm also talking about Virginia Woolf's To the Lighthouse, which we have also studied on this unit. Fine. I don't know how many quotations I actually need from these books because of what I'm talking about in the rest of my essay, which is the current issue that I'm at because I have a lot of extra stuff that I want to say, but I do need to focus on the novels. Which is where I'm kind of stuck at the moment. And I want to use other novels as well as examples for some stuff that I'm referencing, but I can't talk about them in depth because they weren't on my course and I've been told to stick to stuff that was on my course. Fine, easy. I think the other issue that I'm currently having is that I need to read more secondary criticism because the secondary criticism I think will make it a lot easier for me to structure my essay and to know exactly what points I want to include because I think it will give me further ideas of what to talk about. But that's where we're at, and so I think I'm just going to keep going on with it because I have kind of reached a flow state, except I reached flow state and then went, oh my god, I have so much to talk about and like 2,000 words, which is a lot of words, but it's also not. Yay. So current status is that we have typed everything onto my computer. Good. I need to, what I think I'm going to do now is read some secondary criticism and note down any points that they make that I think are really interesting that I want to include in my essay. But also what I want to do is I've selected 4 books per point. So basically, the points that I'm making in my essay at the moment are 4 novels. I'm doing the modern examples in fiction and older examples in fiction. So I've chosen 4 examples for each, 2 of which show heteronormative, that's what I meant, heteronormative examples in the novels, and half of them are more homosexual. I'm not going to say they are homosexual because some of them aren't. Well, they are, but they're like subtext, so it's not explicit, it's more implicit. But I'm going to talk about those, and I want to figure out what exact points I want to make for each one, because obviously I have to focus on the 2 that are on my course, so To the Lighthouse and On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous. So obviously I'm going to have more points for those, but I do want to talk about the other novels just briefly as an example of something. But I need to read the secondary criticism to make sure that this falls in line with what I'm actually trying to argue. And I'm currently stuck on whether I do the full question or my current version of it. Because the full question talks about gender and or sexuality, and I'm currently centering only on sexuality because obviously that's the most present thing in On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous, whereas Into the Lighthouse it is more of a gender thing and it's more of gender roles. So I can't decide whether I do talk about gender as well. And I think I probably will end up talking about gender anyway, but I don't want... I feel like the secondary criticism that I've chosen doesn't focus enough on gender for me to include it. I think what I'm going to do is read the criticism, find some points, see if I can align it in any way, and figure out what points I want to make about each novel. And then I'll come back and see how I feel. And then I think what I want to do this morning, I say this morning, it's like 20 to 12, oh well, is to finish a proper like outline. The thing is, by outline what I mean is I'm basically going to write the essay just without all of the quotations, but with most of them. So I want to know exactly what I'm including from all my secondary critics. Basically, I want to know what footnotes I'm going to have. So anything from secondary critics, and then either before I take a break or after I take a break, I'm going to look through the 2 novels and just find 3 or 4 examples from each, which doesn't sound like a lot, but I think because of the amount of secondary criticism and the amount that I'm talking about other things would make sense. The thing is, I feel like I'm going really off of the brief, but the brief, from what I'm reading of the brief, this makes sense. In my mind, as long as I submit something that I'm happy with, that I think answers the question and is around 2,000 words, obviously that's the assignment done, that's as much as I can do. But I also don't feel like I've done the whole thing if I'm going off track. But I'm not going off track, that's the thing. I'm sticking to the question, but because the question doesn't have... Basically, I don't know how much of each novel I need to include, which is where I'm kind of getting stuck. I'm gonna go do the things that I said I'd do, and I will be back probably when I take a break. We are going pretty well. I actually feel like I'm focused on the task, which is insane because I never am. But I think I've reached flow state. I'm actually interested in what I'm talking about, but also I've realised that my deadline's tomorrow, so yay! Yay! So I'm gonna go make lunch and probably get humbled by Spotify Wrapped, and then I'll come back and continue working. I'm sorry, this is a really boring vlog, but I do need to do my essay. We have the scran, yay! I've made chicken katsu with rice and lettuce, which looks very beige because I've used wholemeal rice, but you know, it is what it is, or whole grain. I have some drinks which are sparkling strawberry and apple and sparkling sweet and sour apple. Those are really good, and I'm pretty sure they actually have fruit in them, so, you know, healthy. Speaking of healthy, I then have a goo pot. Guys, they were on Nectarcard, they were cheaper than they should have been, and I wanted something nice this week. So it is a free from cheesecake, and it's a lemon cheesecake, and I'm so excited to eat that. So I'm gonna take my little break while eating my food, and then I will return to the grind. Hey vlog. We are doing, ignore please, we're doing quite well. Currently listening to just the happiest music I can find so that I can actually get on with this assignment and not die. I am really enjoying like the stuff that I'm reading, but it's really difficult to get a balance because I don't want to skim read all my secondary reading and miss like this really important quote that I would want to put in, but also I do not have the time to read all of the secondary reading that I've got because like there's hundreds of pages of it, so I've got to pick and choose, which is really hard. But you know what, we are getting on with it, and spirits are gonna increase, hopefully. I think my issue is that I always crash after lunch, and so I was kind of putting off eating for as long as I could so that then I wouldn't crash, but I did in fact have a little crash after I had my lunch, which is fine, permitting myself to have breaks, but yeah, we need to get back to it. Because I just want to start writing stuff, which I think is what I'm going to do now, before I go back to reading more secondary. I think I'm just going to start writing like basic outliney things. Basically, I'm going to write anything that doesn't require me to put the secondary reading in there, and then I'm going to change the essay as I read the secondary criticism, which might not be the best idea, but it's what we're working with. So, yeah. And I'm going to take a break in a minute to go and fill up my water bottle because it is getting low and I do not want to be dehydrated. Update time. We've started reading, started writing even. I have been reading, trust. And I'm really tired, which is not helping, but it's fine. We're still listening to our music, we're still on our way. I have a proper plan now. I've organised all my quotes and all my points that I want to make about the novels. I am still going through secondary reading because I did find quite a lot originally and I want to include quite a bit of it. And by that I don't mean like a whole article, I'm just like, I want to include a wide variety of people's opinions. So yeah, and I've only just given myself a cushion to sit on so that I'm not dying. Yay. Because I have been so uncomfortable, you wouldn't even believe it, and my back is in so much pain. Like, the amount of times that I've just leaned back and my back has gone and it's like, oh. Shows you how bad my posture is, but, you know, trying to fix that, which is partly why I got the cushion, because I think that it will help me to sit up straight, because the issue is that it's just uncomfortable with just the chair. So, okay, back to writing. Or reading and writing, I guess. See you guys in a bit. I forgot to say that at some point today I've got to edit yesterday's vlog, because otherwise Vlogmas doesn't work, which would be quite a bad thing. So I'm going to, I think, work on this until I get to a point that makes sense to stop, and then I'm going to spend an hour and a half, hopefully maximum, editing and putting my video onto YouTube, and then we're going to go back to it. Because ideally I want to at least have a draft of the entire essay by tonight. I mean, ideally I want to submit it tonight, but we'll see where we get to, guys. Welcome to procrastination at its finest. I think that I'm going to pride myself on having done so much work, and so I am going to take a quick break, and by quick I hope it will not be more than 2 hours, because otherwise I am so going to be so tired. But I need to edit yesterday's vlog and schedule that for posting, because 9 o'clock release time last night was not okay. So yeah. Gonna have some fun, gonna go edit, and I'm probably gonna edit in my bed because, like, uni work and editing, I can separate those in my mind so that then when I come back to my desk it's not gonna be like I've been here the whole time. Yay! So I may have had a nap, but it's fine because I'm gonna get up, probably caffeinate, which I know I've said is a bad idea, but I need to finish this essay. So I think by caffeinate I literally mean have tea. I have hot chocolate, low-key, because I do have the stuff for hot chocolate. Actually, I'm feeling a hot chocolate, guys. So I'm going to do that, and then we're going to get cracking on finishing this essay so that I can go to bed. For real. Estimation of finish time is currently 2 AM. And it's 10 o'clock now. I'll see you guys later. Hey guys, I've just had a really delicious hot chocolate and a tea, and I was in the kitchen singing lovely musical songs with my flatmates, so that was a really nice break. But I am now going to write my final essay plan so that I have noted down exactly everything that I need or really want to get in to the essay so that I don't forget about any points that I wanted to make, and then we will be properly locking in. I know I've been saying that, but I know me. I promise guys, I will be properly locking in and doing what needs to be done, which is finishing this essay. I'm pretty confident with my introduction and obviously the title. So I've already got 318 words of the 2,000 that I need. So we're over a tenth of the way there. But yeah, I'm gonna write my final plan and then get to finishing this essay. Finally. Yay! Lads and ladles, I want to have a quick conversation about the concept of footnotes being included in a word count. The concept, do you get it? Yeah, because I've just done, just so that I could write my essay and not have to think about it, I've footnoted every quotation that I think I'm going to use. Tell me why I only have 700 words left to do my essay. So I fear that half of these quotes are getting... But that's okay. It is technically also day 4 of Vlogmas as of recording this, but that's fine. I'm gonna... Day 3 goes until I finish this essay. That's what I've decided. Or until I wake up tomorrow. So yeah. I'll be back with another update, I'm sure, in a bit. I love pressing the submit button. And it was exactly 2,000 words. I did proofread it, obviously. I'm not I'm not stupid. But it is also 2:30 in the morning, so I'm gonna go to bed, and I'll see you guys for day 4 of Vlogmas, where I'll be hopefully a lot less stressed than I have been the first 3 days. I'll see you tomorrow. Have so much fun. Bye!